afternoon and welcome. Thank you for taking the time this afternoon to join us for an overview of the New York State Computer Science and Digital Fluency Standards. My name is Brittany Harvey, and co-hosting with me today is Melinda Phoenix Hart. We are both members of the Model Schools team through the MORIC. In this webinar, we will help you to understand a foundational understanding of the computer science and digital fluency standards, introduce the key concepts, and share ideas for how to initiate the implementation process within your classroom, building, or district. All resources and materials shared during today's discussion will be shared with you via email.
Let's kick off our webinar with a quick poll. We'd like to get a pulse on how you are feeling regarding implementing the standards within your districts. So please take a moment and head to menti.com and enter the 7-digit code displayed on your screen. You can also scan the QR code with a mobile device to access the poll. No login is necessary. Please share up to 4 words describing your current status in regards to implementation of the standards. Take a moment now to submit your response. As you share your response, we would like to extend an invitation to check out moric.org/PD, where you can view the latest PD calendar and register for upcoming sessions. Additionally, this webinar will be available along with a plethora of informative videos on our MORIC YouTube channel, found on the resources slide of this presentation. Now let's take a look at some of our poll responses. We're seeing comfortable, unsure, apprehensive, knowledgeable, scared, overwhelmed. Lots of these responses are right in line with what we are hearing in our component districts. And so we hope to provide information this afternoon that will give you a confident start of understanding the standards and first steps towards implementation. Let's get started by taking a look at NYSED's vision for the computer science and digital fluency standards.
The New York State Computer Science and Digital Fluency Standards provide a complete framework for K-12 students to develop the knowledge and skills needed to be successful in an ever-changing digital world. These standards outline a set of clear and rigorous expectations for students, encompassing a range of topics such as coding, digital citizenship, data analysis, and problem solving. The standards are designed to help teachers and administrators better understand what students should know and be able to do at each grade level, and to provide guidance for the development of curriculum and instructional strategies. They also emphasize the importance of equity, inclusion, and diversity in technology education, promoting opportunities for all students to engage in computer science and digital fluency, regardless of background or identity. The New York State Computer Science and Digital Fluency Standards aim to prepare students to be responsible, empowered, and creative participants in the digital world, able to use technology effectively and ethically to solve problems, create solutions, and pursue their goals.
Take a moment to consider the questions on your screen. Throughout this webinar, we will ask you to ponder questions or ideas in a rhetorical manner, with the purpose of helping you clarify your own understanding and personal context regarding the standards and their implementation. Let's take a moment to consider this question now. And from this vision, we move on to the 4 guiding principles.
The 4 principles that guide the standards include equity and access, interdisciplinary connections, coherence, and relevance and engagement. These principles keep the standards focused on reaching the goal of preparing students for an ever-changing digital future. By comprehending these guiding principles, educators can develop a better understanding of how the individual standards are interconnected and their significance in their classrooms.
Many of the themes found in these principles already exist in your classroom or district ecosystem. Exploring where you already align helps you move forward with more confidence in the foundation of purpose. Take a moment to consider the questions on your screen. And now that we understand the vision and guiding principles, let's shift our focus to the implementation timeline.
The implementation timeline for the New York State Computer Science and Digital Fluency Standards is designed to support a gradual and phased-in approach that allows for flexibility and adaptation at the district level. The New York State Education Department, NYSED, has provided guidance and resources to support the implementation process, which involves several key stages. First, the awareness building phase, capacity building, initial implementation, and finally, full implementation. We are currently in the capacity building phase and will begin initial implementation in the coming school year. Full implementation of the standards is expected by September 2024.
As we move through this webinar, continuously check in with where you consider yourself to be positioned on this timeline. If you are a teacher, let this webinar help you gain an understanding of your role and responsibility regarding the standards. If you are an administrator, use this review of the fundamentals to consider where your building or district might be thriving and/or where they will need support as they move towards full implementation. Take a moment now to consider the question on your screen. And now that we understand the basic timeline for implementation, let's take a look at how the standards are organized.
The standards are organized into 5 main concepts, each having multiple subconcepts. All concepts are non-sequential and may be taught in any order. The 5 main concepts are impacts of computing, computational thinking, network and systems design, cybersecurity, and digital literacy. Let's take a look at how to read the standards.
Standards are presented with a grade band, concept, and standard number. There are 5 grade bands separated as K1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 12. Each main concept has a corresponding concept code listed in the center box on your screen. In navigating the example on the bottom of the slide, we see the grade band listed in the green bar at the top, indicating the 4 through 6 band. The standard identifier starts with the grade band 4 through 6, followed by the concept code, in this case, CT for computational thinking, and ends with a specific standard number, in this case, standard number 3. The standard is written out beneath the standard identifier. Each standard also has a clarifying statement that connects the standard to real-world applications by offering additional context and detail to help teachers and administrators interpret the standards and understand the knowledge, skills, and dispositions that students are expected to develop. In this case, the clarifying statement helps us understand where the emphasis should be focused on for this grade band.
NYSED provides a glossary of terms to support educators in fully understanding the meaning of each standard. The flashcards we will share with you pull directly from the glossary. When it comes to defining terms, making sure stakeholders have a common understanding will improve the quality of learning for students. As an example, students will generally have an understanding of the word control, as in the power to direct the course of actions. However, when used in programming in the term control structures, it defines as the use of elements of programming code to direct which actions take place and the order in which they take place.
So what does all this mean for you? How do the standards impact your role in education? And what steps will you need to take to meet standard requirements? Let's start with cross-curricular expectations.
By integrating different subjects and skills, interdisciplinary lessons facilitate the development of critical thinking, problem solving, communication, and creativity among students. The incorporation of computer science and digital fluency standards into the current curriculum helps bridge their learning with the digital world. The design of the standards allows for integration into all curricula within every discipline, K-12, or for instruction in a standalone model. According to NICED, schools must determine locally how to provide instruction in the standards. This can be accomplished by integrating the standards into other subject areas and/or by developing standalone computer science courses. In terms of standalone computer science courses, instructors of courses will need either the new computer science certification or a statement of continued eligibility, SOCH, by September 1st, 2024. More information regarding certification and statements of continued eligibility can be found on the NICED website.
The conversation about whether to choose an integrated model or a standalone model is weighted with many contextual influences that can differ between individual districts. We invite you to consider the different models in conjunction with the specific needs and characteristics of your districts. Take a moment to consider the questions on your screen.
Understanding the standards can feel like a massive undertaking at the start. If you or your colleagues are feeling overwhelmed, you are not alone. To help, we've created 5 quick look documents, one for each main concept. These bite-sized summaries are a great place to start to visualize the big picture for each concept and zero in on the essence of the individual standards. Let's take a closer look at the digital literacy quick look.
The main concept is listed at the top of the page, as well as in the color-coded banner. Each standard has a 3-layered section with the concept code and standard number listed in the top layer. The middle layer lists the sub-concept, and the bottom layer lists the main topic or keyword for understanding the essence of the standard. The example here shows the keywords associated with the 7 sub-concepts of the digital literacy standard. These can be used when introducing the standards for the first time in your district, your buildings, and/or with your colleagues.
Take a moment to look through each of the remaining main concepts. This one is the impacts of computing quick look. The cybersecurity quick look. The networks and systems design quick look. The computational thinking quick look.
Once you feel comfortable with the overall scope of the main concepts, sub-concepts, and standards, take some time to explore the K-12 examples document. This document provides lesson ideas for every standard at every applicable grade level. Let's take a look at an example from the digital literacy main concept. This example pulls from the digital literacy concept standard number 6. The sub-concept of digital citizenship is listed at the top. The standard identifiers are listed in the left column. The examples are listed in the right column. Notice that the standard does not begin until grade band 2 through 3, which is indicated to the right of K1. This resource will be particularly useful for teachers that are struggling with idea creation. These examples are broad, yet are helpful as teachers begin exploring and planning for implementation.
Now let's take a look at the 5-step process for implementation of the standards. As you get started, these steps will assist you with integrating the standards into your current teaching and classroom practices without having to start from scratch. This approach is designed to help you enhance what you already have and add what is needed, rather than completely revamping your curriculum. First, look at the at-a-glance documents for your grade band. This pulls all concepts, subconcepts, and standards designed for your grade band into one compact document.
Let's take a look at the at a glance for impacts of computing, grades 4 through 6. The main concept is found in the color-coded banner. The 4 sub-concepts, society, ethics, accessibility, and career paths, are found in the left column, and the 7 individual standards are found in the right column, labeled with their specific standard identifier. Notice that the at-a-glance document does not contain the clarifying statements.
Once you are comfortable with the standards at a glance for your grade band, you are ready to move on to the gap analysis tool. The gap analysis tool contains 2 key parts, where you already meet the standards and finding which standards will require new methods of integration. The first step when using the gap analysis tool is identifying where you already meet the standards. This step can be as simple or as extensive as you would like to make it, and will require time for teachers to apply the gap analysis tool with their curriculum materials.
Take a moment to consider the question on your screen through the lens of your role in your district. Consider what obstacles might prevent quality gap analysis and how you will complete or facilitate gap analysis within your district.
After identifying where standards are already being met, continue using the gap analysis tool to explore which standards will require new methods of integration. Once you have a complete list of topics that will require new lessons or new methods of integration, choose one that you feel most comfortable with exploring first and use that topic for steps 4 and 5. With your chosen topic, create and implement a new lesson in your classroom. Take the time to reflect on what worked and make adjustments as needed. Repeat steps 4 and 5 as needed based on the results of your gap analysis. Consider sharing ideas by connecting and collaborating with colleagues within your discipline and grade band.
Each of our roles can look slightly or even vastly different. What additional steps might you need to consider regarding implementation based on your unique role and place within your district? Take a moment to consider the question on your screen.
In addition to the resources included in this presentation, we've provided links for how to connect with your Model Schools coordinator, the NYSED website, a link to the MORIC's YouTube channel, a MORIC Computer Science and Digital Fluency Awareness flyer, access to information regarding our constant contact, and a Google Drive folder containing resources and lessons pulled from the Smart Start Artifacts section of the NYSED website.
When navigating the Smart Start Drive folder, note that there are 4 folders and 2 docs. The NYSED Smart Start directory is a quick link list pulled directly from the NYSED Smart Start page. The 4 folders and remaining doc are examples, lessons, and resources shared by these districts as part of their Smart Start grant. These are great starting points for teachers who want to see lessons in action or for teachers who want to compare their ideas with other districts in New York State.
The MORIC Computer Science and Digital Fluency Awareness flyer contains many useful links, including implementation ideas and topics for integration. Additionally, if you haven't already done so, please consider signing up for MORIC's Constant Contact informative newsletter. Click on the Resource tab for more information.
And as a reminder, you will be receiving in your email a copy of this presentation from our webinar today. And if you have any questions following today's presentation, please feel free to reach out to us at the email addresses on your screen. Thank you for taking the time to attend our webinar this afternoon, and we hope to see you again soon.